Hello again, everybody. It's Takedown. Scott Casper with you. We cover the sport of wrestling each and every day of the year. Today, no different. We go to Ypsilanti, Michigan. Eastern Michigan has got itself a brand new head coach. The departing Derek Del Porto did not leave the cupboard bare. No, in fact, he left a young man there who's been there since 2007. That's quite a tenure for the new head coach, the former associate head wrestling coach, David Bolyard. He joins us now. David, congratulations.
Thanks for having me on.
This is not a program you're or have ever been estranged from. In other words, you understand how it's going, how it's working, how the program has been recruited. I would like to think that your university vice president, director of intercollegiate athletics, Heather Like, would have made a rather good hire in keeping you, and I believe you and your wife Heather probably agree.
Yeah, I felt like this was a good fit in the fact that I've spent 14 years as an athlete and coach in the state of Michigan. I'm originally from Ohio. We have in-state tuition with Ohio residents, and just the contacts that I've been able to build, recruiting wise, and with those coaches, and also the contacts I've been able to build with this program over the last 7 years that I've been a part of it. As far as being able to reach alumni, I thought I was the right choice, and these are competitive jobs. There's a lot of good people applying for them. So it's not ever probably a matter of are there good candidates, but who's the right fit. And I
Right.
felt like I was the right fit, and well, I guess time will tell. But I thought I was the right fit.
I may have misspoke. I may have identified your wife incorrectly. Is it Heather or is it Ashley?
My wife's name's Amanda.
Amanda. Okay, I was
Our,
wrong on all accounts.
yeah,
Well,
our athletic director's name's Heather.
yeah, Heather, like, and then Chris Hoppy is the senior associate athletic director. This search committee did a thorough job, I think, but in the end, they decided on what was best for this growing program, and it is a growing program. You've had an incredible growth period over the last 10 years, and it hasn't gone unnoticed, by the way. So I'm sure you're looking forward to continuing that. There was another thing that perhaps propelled you guys into you and your wife into driving to maintain your position with this program, and that is her position. I want to bring this out right now. She is a very successful veterinarian in the area, and I'm a huge fan of veterinarians and pets. But that was part of your desire to want to stay there as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is always, and I always say I'm extremely passionate about wrestling and my job. Very passionate. But there's only one thing that's more important to me. That is my family.
Right.
And we've always, over the last 7 years, and like you talked about a little bit, is we've helped. I mean, I've been a part of it and helped build a program that was, probably the worst in our conference and one of the worst in the country into a team that's relevant. And we had a pretty good year where we sent four guys to the NCAA tournament, and we beat Central Michigan. We haven't beaten them in 27 since 1991, and we beat Stanford and Old Dominion and some other good teams. And we even had a really close duel with a team as good as Missouri, where we split 5-5 and ended up coming short on that one. But because of that, I've had opportunities to maybe go other places, and again, as important as this is to me, my wife and our family is extremely important, and she's done very successful in what she's doing, and this has always been a great fit for us, where we're close to our family. We're almost dead set in the middle of where she grew up and where I grew up, and we're starting to raise a family, and she's very happy with what she's doing and successful. So, yeah, this has been a great fit for both of us, and again, I've had opportunities to go other places, but I just don't know if it would have been a great fit for her as well. So, this is the place that we've wanted to be because it meets everything that we're looking for.
Let me tell you why my belief in you as a head coach is so strong, and it's this: we go back to your days as an athlete out of Springfield High School in Akron, Ohio. So you come from a great state, number one. But then it's to Central Michigan you go, and you get a bachelor's degree in entrepreneurship. And if anybody knows anything about me, that's how I make a living. We have to be entrepreneurial in our spirit, in our goals, in our drive. We have to go to work every morning all by ourselves and want to be there, want to succeed, want to be at our desk, want to be doing what we need to do in the room, the gym, the studio, whatever it is. That's what your degree was initially in 2005, going back for an athletic administration degree in 2008, master's degree. But so that gives you a great founding or grounding, I should say, in running your business. And what better time in the world of athletics to be in business than right now to be an entrepreneur in the sport of wrestling? Pretty special opportunity, isn't it?
Yeah, and I always think it's funny. If I'm being honest, I went to college because I wanted to wrestle, and then you start going through it and figuring out what suits you. And I think I've always kind of been that way. And the great thing about entrepreneurship is I think it teaches you how to make a living off things you're passionate about. So and I've started my own wrestling club. We've bought a rental property, and there are certain things that I'm passionate about. And again, most important to me is wrestling. And I've been able to make a living out of wrestling, and I just that like you talk about that entrepreneurial spirit where you're passionate about being successful in it, and yeah, I think it's really helped mold me. I think it's given me a good foundation, like you said, about how to turn that passion into running a business. So I think it's been huge for me.
Central Michigan was a good home for you, wasn't
It was great, and I always explain it this way, where going through the recruiting process, I don't know if I was coming out of high school thinking, oh, I want to go to Central Michigan. There were other places that maybe seemed better up front, and like a lot of kids, I was thinking maybe I was wanting to go to Penn State or Ohio State, and then once you start going through the process and you start figuring things out and what's the best fit for you, and taking some of that perception out of it, it was the best fit for me. And I'll tell you what, I couldn't have made a better choice. I had a great time there, a great coach. I think a mentor of mine and someone that's definitely had an impact on my life and helped shape me as as a leader. And some of the people I was able to surround myself with there, I couldn't have. I mean, I met my wife in 1 month there, but some of the friendships that I made that I still have were huge for me. And like I said, some of that stuff's luck. You fall into some things, and I didn't know exactly what I was getting into. You're making the best decision you can make off of 2 or 3 months of recruiting, and then you get there and you hope for the best. But it turned out great for me.
You're an academic All-American. Historically, you're a guy that understands what hard work looks like, how to achieve excellence. You're a 4-time NCAA qualifier, All-American in 2004, 2-time NWCA academic All-American, and what coach isn't going to put a verbal kiss on that, even if they really just want you to be an NCAA champ? Yeah. I believe the whole package, like the NWCA and NCAA forwards, being a great student athlete is perhaps the greatest achievement of all, and you absolutely endorse that. Is that easier said than done in today's climate, or is it absolutely a better goal today than it was, say, 10 or even 15 years ago?
I don't think so. I always tell our guys this: if you're trying to be successful, let's say you're trying to be successful in wrestling, but I don't think I don't think successful people say, I'm going to be successful in this area. I think success is a lifestyle. You're trying to be successful in everything you do. And of course, being a student and student athlete is a huge part of that. But I make correlations, and I'm a numbers guy. I make correlations all the time to the guys with good GPAs in our team and how successful they are on the mat. And it's not a coincidence, in my opinion. The guys that are choosing to be successful in everything are also the guys that are most successful on the mat. And I don't know. I think you rarely see that where maybe that was common 15 years ago, where you had the guy that was a great athlete and had a lot of success, but was a poor student. I think in our sport, when a lot of it's about being tough and disciplined, that carries over in everything you do.
So the idea of being, or even describing an athlete as a dumb jock, or even I remember when I first got to college back in the late or early '80s, the idea of rocks for jocks. That's the kind of class the football players or athletes are going to take just to get through college and focus on the sport. That whole mentality has changed, and it's great young coaches like yourself who are leading by example. And I think perhaps that's one of the greatest parts about what we do. It's not about necessarily who wins or loses at the end of the day. It's how we walk through the experience, and are we better for it having come out the other side?
Yeah, I mean, again, maybe it was like that in the past, but that's not how we're recruiting, and I don't think that's how it is. I mean, that wasn't the case of the guys that I was around. I was around a lot of successful guys in school and on the mat, obviously, as well at Central, and same here. We're trying to do the same things that we did there, and Jason Brelli comes to mind, and Jason Mester, and some of those other guys, and they were good students too. They were obviously good on the mat, and Mark DeSalvo the same. A lot of those guys, a lot of the guys that were successful for us at Central were also good students. And again, I don't think that's a coincidence, and maybe it was that way 15, 20 years ago. But again, in my opinion, especially in a sport like wrestling, where it's not just about God-given ability, there's a good portion that's about toughness and discipline.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle, and the people that live the right lifestyle are usually the ones that are successful.
We're talking with David Bolyard. He's the new head coach of Eastern Michigan, and Eastern Michigan's really coming into its own now, and a lot of that has to do with recruiting. Is it an easier program to recruit to today than it was in 2007?
Yeah, and I think we've done a lot of good things in the community. I think I don't think you could look at the path that we've been on the last 7 years and say that we're not going the right direction. I definitely feel like we're going the right direction. We're not where we want to be yet, but we're definitely got this thing going the right direction, and that helps for sure. We've done a really good job of trying to target the right kids. Like we've been talking about, the kids that are good students. Obviously, we're looking for good wrestlers.
Yeah.
And I think we've done a good job of targeting those guys and building a team that has a lot of good people on this team that are capable of buying into living a great life. And that's easier to recruit to than, if you got some troublemakers on your team. And again, I really believe that you're recruiting people that are willing to live that lifestyle. And if that's who you're identifying, and you got a group of people on your team that aren't bought into that, then you're not going to get the people you want.
You're getting quite a bit of support too from your athletic director's office on down, from the university president's office on down. It's almost as if you and I and everybody else in the sport of wrestling, for that matter, we're enjoying a renaissance, if you will, of wrestling. It was just announced yesterday or the day before that another school in Michigan is adding wrestling back to its offering. Plus, they're adding women. We have a program climbing out of the club status into the Division III over on the East Coast. Wrestling it's a resurgence. It's a renaissance, if you will, or even a rebuilding. Are you experiencing the same kind of emotional get that I am?
Yeah, just in the state of Michigan, Alma started the program. They lost their program. I'm guessing, I don't know the numbers on this, but late 70s, early 80s, they lost the program, and within the last 4 years, they brought that program back. I just found out yesterday that Adrian's starting a men's and women's program. Next year at Eastern, there'll be a club team for women here. So a lot of good things going on. For men and women. I think that's important for our sport, especially in the NCAA. And I think there's a lot of different reasons for that. I think in the state of Michigan, I think that, the youth wrestling program and Dave Dean and some of the stuff that he's done has had an impact. I think and I don't know a ton of this for fact, so I won't speculate too much, but I think he's had a little bit of, I think he's had some part in some of those programs and them starting to back up. So I mean, I don't know that for 100%, but that's kind of what I've heard. A good foundation for people in this state, and people, more and more people getting involved in wrestling at an earlier age, and some of the administrators, doing a good job of seeing that.
Now, your goals, of course, are to beat everybody in the state of Michigan and everybody else. I mean, let's face it. Now it has come down to this, man. You've had 16 national qualifiers during your last 7 years. There are 33 all Mid-American Conference placers. There's some incredible assets that you can draw off of. One of the things that you're in sadly need of at this institution, though, is someone to take your spot. You need a new assistant. Where are you at on that process?
So we opened that position up a little over a week ago, and we're just seeing who's interested and who's applied. And we're kind of going through the process of that. We haven't made a final decision as far as going through all the tape and stuff with HR, but I have a pretty good idea which way we're going. And just we haven't gone through HR and done all that stuff yet, so I won't say yet who it is. But
Who is it?
I can't say
No,
yet.
I can't say. Okay, no initials.
Yeah, no.
It's going to be tough to fill the shoes of David Bolyard, though. How are you going to find another you? I mean, this is one of the things that we know about you is that you were so well suited for this job, no matter where you went, because of your ability, your focus. I mean, even Eastern Michigan, Heather said it best. I think that his focus on positively impacting our student athletes through the sport is obvious, and he's well prepared to lead this program. There's zero question in my mind that she was dead on. I gotta believe that the search for your replacement perhaps may be even harder.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll say this: that's extremely important to me, and that's why I do the job. Is I had a great influence and a leader that was had a huge impact on my life, and I was pretty close to going down the wrong direction. But again, I think I made the right choice and surrounded myself with the right people, and I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for those people. So I'm looking for people, and I've told our guys this. I'm looking for the right type of people, and the right type of people for this program. They're not doing it for themselves. They're the type of people that want to see the guys in our room succeed, and it has to be about them first. And I'm also a pretty loyal person, so I'm going to try to surround myself with people I think I can trust,
Right.
and people that I'm probably familiar with, if possible. I mean, obviously this is a crazy business sometimes, and you're always looking for who's the best person. But sometimes sometimes in our sport we get so wrapped up in who was so accomplished as a wrestler, and that's important, and that's important too. But I guess your motives are more important to me than how accomplished you were and why you're doing it, and the type of impact you want to have on your student athletes. That's probably more important to me than what you did as a wrestler. I don't know how much that always transfers into being a good coach.
In other words, being a good person.
Yeah.
Okay. And how can you disagree with that at all? We're talking with David Bolyard, 9 years of NCAA Division I coaching experience to his new job as the head coach. We've been putting this interview into perspective, I think, and I think it's a good perspective. I think challenging ourselves to continue to hire the best to fill the vacancies in this sport can only help raise this sport. The NWCA has these short lists, and we see them, we contribute as well. But what our interest is in making sure that we have the right guys to continue to help lead our sport into the next generation and the generation after that. So it truly is on your shoulders. But obviously you feel that, your family does, Eastern Michigan does. What's next for you guys besides filling the spots that are needed in coaching? What's next for you as far as the head coach?
Yeah, like you said, the first thing is that we got to get the right people in here. So that starts with our staff, and then so once we figure that out and get all the right people, the type of people that we're looking for, on staff, then we got to go out and find the right people as far as recruits. And I tell recruits this all the time. To me, it's not so much about talent. We wouldn't be calling you if we didn't think you were talented. It's about us finding that's a special person, a group of special people that they still have that fire to be successful. And you see a lot in our sport where you have guys that were super successful coming out of high school, and they just, for whatever reason, they don't make that jump to college. And the root of all that is you still got to have that fire to be successful. And you see a lot of those guys that were successful in high school, they have that comfort zone of if they don't make it and when it gets hard, they can fall back on how good they were in high school. So we're not looking for guys that were just successful in high school. We're looking for guys that we still believe want to be successful, and they still have that fire to be successful at the next level, and they're not satisfied. They're still looking for more. So I guess our whole motto would be we need the right people here.
Right.
And once we get the right people here, doing what we want to do as far as goals isn't going to be that hard. The hard part is getting the right people here. So, the first thing is filling our staff with the right people, then going out and targeting the right people and getting them to buy into what we want to do here at Eastern. And then we get a group of the right people here. We'll start doing the things we want to do, in the classroom and on the mats for sure.
You mentioned loyalty, and we're drawing the interview toward its natural conclusion, but you mentioned loyalty. Are you going to miss Derek Del Porto?
Oh, absolutely. Derek was a great.
Here's your chance to throw him under the bus, buddy. Here we go.
Yeah, no. I think he'd find the first flight back up to Italy if I threw him under the bus. No, Derek was an awesome guy. He was a lot of fun to work. For a lot of the same reasons we're talking about, it was not just about wrestling for him. It mattered to him the impact he had on the guys in our team. It mattered to him the relationship him and I had. Being successful was important, obviously, but doing it the right way was really important to him. And learned a ton from Derek. There's times when any coaches are going to have their disagreements, but I mean, I always had input, and I was going to fight passionately for what I wanted. He was going to do the same. I don't think I ever left the office mad at him, and I don't think he ever left the office mad at me, because we knew at the end of the day we were trying to do what was right for this program, and I don't feel like that ever came in the way of our relationship, him and I, as friends. And I can tell you this: that was very important to him. Relationships, and I have a great relationship with him, and he has a great relationship with a lot of people through Eastern Michigan Wrestling, because he did a great job of putting that first. So
outstanding guy, and we were all a bit surprised when he made the announcement of leaving wrestling and moving. But hey, is what it is, and obviously to open up a great door for you. And you're going to take this thing and run with it. I know EMU Wrestling will be much stronger for having him there, and much stronger for having you taking the reins and continuing the program in the direction that you guys have set. So congratulations, bud. Anybody you want to recognize and thank? I got to believe your wife, your family is probably really a big part of not just of the decision, but being supportive of you all these years to this job.
Oh, yeah. I tell you this, my wife was very excited. And her family and mine, and a lot of people involved. I guess as far as thanking people, I just thank our administrators for putting the faith of the program in my hands, and it's not something I take lightly, and I appreciate the opportunity, and now it's time to make something out of it.
I know that as the Chick Sherwood Most Outstanding Wrestler Award winner, you'll probably be a little harder for me to get in touch with down the line, but I do have a long memory, and I'm also very loyal. So if we can move that award over to the side periodically, I will tell you this, that the mic here at Takedown is always available for you guys, and we're looking forward to seeing what's next, not just for you, David, but for the program. The EMU Eagles are here for long term, and we're looking to see what you guys are able to do over the next few years.
Well, I appreciate it, and hopefully we're about to do some good things.
That sounds good. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you.
You bet. He's David Bolyard, the new head coach for the EMU Eagles. Look for them online at emueagles.com. The Eastern Michigan University has made a great decision in keeping this man in Ypsilanti. He is David Bolyard, the head coach of the Eastern Michigan University Eagles. I'm Scott Casper, and thanks for watching.